financially running a building company is very hard. It took many, many years of making losses, sort of just trying to weave my way through and build my reputation. Our years of experience doing development, sort of providing what the market wants to the quality that it should be at, we don't stray from that no matter what.
Welcome to the Inspired Builders podcast, your source for game-changing conversations with Australia and New Zealand's leading builders and industry experts. Each week, we deliver real stories and proven strategies from those who've been in your shoes. Ready to build something remarkable? Let's dive in.
In this episode, we chat with Emile from SV Built, specialising in luxury homes along Adelaide's prestigious western shoreline, from Glenelg to Semaphore. Emile reveals the secrets behind turning client challenges into next-level solutions, the mindset shift that transformed his approach, and why he refuses to compromise on quality. It's a conversation packed with real-world lessons, relentless pursuit of excellence, and the art of building not just homes, but legacies.
Take us back to getting into building. Was it always there? If not, where did it start?
Building was never really on my agenda or sort of my career path, I suppose. I sort of finished school and I was supposed to go do mechanical and aerospace engineering. And my dad had a steel processing business, structural steel business. So he sort of planted the seed right at the end of my school. I was like, why don't you come work for me for a year and see what it's like? So I deferred uni and went and worked for him. And just started in the factory, operating machines and doing everything from the bottom sort of thing.
What was it like being exposed to that? Seeing your dad create something from a back room to a full-scale company?
Well, as you expect, back in those days, like it was a similar case of didn't see my dad that much. He was working a lot. Like we did spend a lot of time on family holidays and things like that, but he did work a lot. He put his heart and soul into building that business. And you've always got that story in a lot of businesses. He nearly lost the house, went through tough times, all that kind of stuff, and then eventually built it up to what it ended up right before he sold it. So
it sounds like obviously you were exposed to what your dad is doing, building the company. Did you tinker with things? Were you building things as a kid? Or
yeah, I mean, I was always a very curious kid. I was always building stuff. I had this fault where if I was to use something, kind of need to know how it worked before I used it.
Yeah, right.
So I used to always tear things down, rebuild things, or research.
What's an example of some
stuff?
Yeah,
well, ask a lot. I used to ask everyone I knew how does this work, or what's the background to this? So
yeah,
that's kind of where my, I suppose, constructing passion came from.
Being exposed to structural steel side of things, how does that affect what you build today? What
exposed me to construction again was we built a couple of warehouses and offices. Okay. So I sort of later on in my career at my dad's business, I sort of project managed in the building of the warehouses.
Okay.
So that exposed me to commercial style building. My dad eventually decided he was going to slow down and sell the business. I was very fortunate. Mum and dad helped me and my brother buy a house together.
Okay.
It was a rundown, crappy, unlivable house. And then I just sort of, this was probably the seed to me getting into the building industry. I was like, well, naturally, I've got to fix this thing up. So I spent every awake hour outside of work working on that place.
Okay.
Renovating it to be a nice, livable place.
Yeah.
Doing that renovation was probably my first foot into getting me hooked on the building side of things.
Okay.
Because you're only going to spend that much of your life doing something if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I suppose, like I said, my father sold the business. I stayed on for a bit, just managing sort of that sort of area that I was managing. And then he wanted to do some housing developments on the side. Okay. So we went through the process of getting it all designed up, buying blocks of land and all that. And then he engaged some local builders to do a few builds for him. And I sort of helped semi-project manage it on the side while I was still working in the business. Yeah. And we did a few like that, and they were quite successful. And then it just got to the point where I felt like I was overseeing it quite a bit, and naturally, as you do, I think it was over dinner one day, I said to my dad, "How about I just build them for you?" He's very technically minded. He was a tool maker by trade, so he's very fine detailer. He's point of a millimeter, not a millimeter kind of thing.
Okay, I like that.
So he was always pushing the builders quite hard to perfect it as well. Yeah. So
do you find you've absorbed some of that yourself?
Definitely.
In terms of the point of the millimeter?
Yeah, that's probably where I spend so much time on getting the finer details.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a bugbear if something's not polished off perfectly.
Yeah. You then started a company, started working, running the developments for your dad.
Yeah, so I was very fortunate that obviously I had an instant client
Yeah.
to start a business with. So that's
Yep.
a very good step up sort of when you're trying to start a business. I just went down the path of, I did all the process to get my building license and start the company, and started building the first couple for him, and then they were quite successful.
Because a lot of builders, they're doing client work and then they want to get in developments. I was going to ask you how you guys shifted from doing developments into doing client work. So people started seeing your stuff, liked it, missed out on it, or had a block, approached you.
Yeah, I started a business without knowing what direction I was going to take. So, I hadn't set any goals or anything. I just wanted to build my dad's developments for him. So then when client work just started coming to us, it was just a natural progression that we'll take on some client work and see how that goes. And we really enjoyed the process of building a product for a client and seeing their enjoyment at the end of the day as well. So
Quite rewarding?
yeah, very rewarding. Yeah. So that was... that's probably why we stuck with it. And it was just, I suppose our work kind of spoke for itself, and people came to us around that stage,
A good majority of our work is in these western suburbs here, close to the beach, and probably I'd say maybe 60-70% of our total work has all been within half a kilometre of the beach.
Oh wow, okay. And the coffee place here is your local?
But it's local to a couple of our jobs, makes good coffee, good food. It's nice and quiet. So yeah, we always pop in. Like we just finished a job at Trinity Gardens, which is the other side of town,
Yep.
and just tucked in the back streets, we found a little cafe that made great coffee, great food, and yeah, we found ourselves stopping in there every more time in our site visits around coffee time. And I'd roll up early in the morning, like 6:30, and he's just firing up his coffee machine and turning the lights on and everything. And a few times I was stuck on the phone in the car, and next thing you know, is like knock on the window and he hands me a coffee. And then it became a thing. He'd know if I was there at 6:30 in the morning, he'd had the coffee made and out the door before I even got a chance to get out of the car. But but yeah, he would always chat with my trades a lot and tell me stories that I would actually find out about after he's telling me. Because I suppose when people get their coffee, what they chat about is fresh in the last few hours. I haven't been to site yet. And early days, my wife was always telling me I was scaring people away, I was too honest. We aren't always the cheapest builder, and I would always tell clients that up front, because I didn't want them to go through too much of a process with us if they had an expectation on that, or their decision was more driven on price. I didn't want to get too far down the track and then the client not be happy that I wasn't up front from day one. But I kind of feel a bit more comfortable being more up front early on.
I think you said to me earlier, in the sense of you don't ever want a client halfway through a job to come and be like, hang on a sec, well, this is not, you never told me this, you know, and so you'd rather just flesh out everything, give them all the information.
Yeah, I suppose that comes back to just being transparent from day one. And like we said before, I don't think there should be unhappy clients in the building industry. Like, people are spending a lot of money on their houses. They should be ecstatic with the end result, but not only enjoy the process. So if they feel ill-informed or you've hid something from them, they're always going to be a bit hesitant.
Yeah, then you can really harm the trust, which is such a big part of everything.
Yeah, I mean, we pride ourselves on them enjoying the process, not only their finished house, but enjoying from day one, right through design, right through construction, right through seeing their vision come to life.
One thing that I find a lot with talking to builders is helping them communicate a lot of that value behind closed doors.
Yeah, I mean, believing is seeing, isn't it? It's hard to show someone a finished product and then see the process you've gone through. So we're pretty much open doors on all our construction sites. We show all our clients as much of the different stages as we can. We explain why we do things that way, what materials we use, the process we build and why we choose that process, because it's all about the end result and how things go together. So
pretty much all our clients, including this one, to build trust right on, we show them we have nothing to hide, and we try to explain why we do things and be able to show them in person. I mean, it's all well and good telling someone, but unless you can go physically show someone.
Totally. Show, don't tell. Yeah.
And I think just being able to see everything that we talk about in our early stages of meetings really puts their mind at ease. And I suppose once you've built that trust and they trust that you deliver exactly how you're going to, how you tell them you're going to deliver, that's just one thing off their mind, and then they can concentrate back on how's it going to look at the end, how we're going to fit it out, and all the exciting stuff. I mean, once you put their mind at ease that it's going to be built properly, then it's all up from there. This is a cost plus job, so this client sort of quantifies progress by how much we invoice. Okay. And if we haven't invoiced that much, she's like, yeah. She's always like, why was the invoice so low? I want to pay you more. I was like, hold your horses. We've got to do the work first.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's such a good relation to have. The clients, they just 100% value what you're doing. And that's always a good indication, is like, if they're so willing to pay, it's because they see the value that they're receiving as they value it greater than the money that they're releasing.
Yeah. I mean, trust is established that their money is going exactly towards the right things, the right quality. So now it's just like money equals progress. No more about, is my money being valued and quantified? It's now like, the more money I'm getting charged, the more progress I'm getting. We find early stages, it's a question we bring to all our clients is, tell us what your kind of wow factor, or like what is the one thing, or maybe 2 or 3 major things you want in this place that sets it a bit of apart. Like what have you seen that you really want in there? Whether it's a pool, whether it's a particular stone, whether it's a chandelier they want in their living room. We've got a client now that we've got this huge $20,000 range wood going in, and that's the feature of the house, yeah. And that's, instead of trying to pick all these awesome items, it's like pick a couple of hero pieces and then we can build everything around that. Because otherwise you're just either going to blow budget very quick because you're trying to get all these high-end things in there, or you're going to get a bit lost in it.
Yeah, I feel like that can...
What comes first? Like, how do I tie it together? You need something to come first, whether it's a stone, whether it's a nice bit of timber. The one thing you've fallen in love with, then let's build on that.
What's a key thing when it comes to running a smoother job?
Yeah, so I mean, it starts at the design and the quoting and the preliminaries of the job, and transparency, like we talked about, just being very open with the client, how our process works and how the project's going to progress, and scheduling and costing and things like that. But then I think we like to keep clients pretty heavily involved. Like, some want to be involved, some don't want to be involved. It's definitely a personal preference, but we always like to communicate well with the client, invite them to site. We've got nothing to hide. We'd like to see the whole process. We'd like them to see the bare bones of their house. They can see how we're constructing it. And then it's just staying in contact throughout the build, constant updates. Things that may affect the client is, say, a product that they picked early on is discontinued or no longer available. Things like that. We won't just say, we've got a problem, we can't get this product. We will spend, that's right. We will spend a long period of time, whether it's myself, Mandy with the design, whatever needs to get involved. We will find what we think are good alternatives, better alternatives. And sometimes we've found in the past with some of our clients, they've actually ended up with a better outcome. A problem has turned into an opportunity.
I know a big thing as well, walking through the house so far, we talked about the stages with which you do things, and you do things in a different stage.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way you can build a house for speed, and then there's a way you can build, we feel, the right way, which ends up getting you the quality product at the end of the day. It does take a bit longer. We do like to properly stage. We also don't like trays working on top of each other. We find that's where mistakes, damage, all that sort of stuff happens. So we give everyone a clear run at their task. And then, staging the build, like you said, the process. is something that does set us apart a bit different. It does take a bit longer to build like that, but we feel it's the right way to build. It gets you the better result.
And you were explaining something to me outside, which I found fascinating, which I've never heard of. Maybe it's just never been explained to me. But driveways, they're already done. At what stage were they done?
They were done about a month ago. Yeah.
And prior to that, how do you guys operate on that front section there?
Yeah, so when we start a build, we'll do all the earthworks, we'll lay the foundations, put the slab and everything. We'll dig all our main services and utilities in, so the power lead in, the water, not so much the gas, but all your stormwater. And then we'll go around and prep the whole site, level it ready for the future concrete, which might be 6-9 months down the track. And then we sort of cover the whole front yard in usually like a 20mm metal gravel. Just keeps all the site, the dust down. No one walks mud into the houses throughout the whole build. It's easier to store materials, keeps everything dry. So just that little thing at the very start of the job just creates a cleaner work site, a safer environment, and people can then perform their job a bit better.
I don't often get to do it, but walking through a job with builders like yourself today and just seeing little things, like just the way you recovered that. You could have been like, hey, let's get out, cool, and off you go. It's undercover. But to put the box back, put the cover back over it.
You don't want dust.
Yeah, but it's just that level of care. Yeah. This isn't your home.
No.
And
when you hand it over, people expect it to be new. Hence why the floors are all covered over. Double covered, yeah. All the main areas have got MDF sheeting on it, because if someone drops a screwdriver and it does go through the first layer, that's a little ding which we can't afford.
Yeah. I feel like this is, just that alone, I would say would be the most cover I've ever walked through on a house.
So this covering of the whole house is probably about $2,000 worth. And then there's probably about $500 MDF sheets on it, which all goes in the bin at the end of the day. But it's the cost of keeping everything 100% at the end of the day. A lot of builders, when they comes down to price point. If they're pricing a job to win, none of this is accounted for, so they don't do it. They don't want to spend an extra $1,000. So then you walk through a house and you find dings in the floor everywhere. But that's a brand new house.
Oh, that's just part of building.
Yeah. And then we final paint at the end of the job. So it's the last thing that happens. That's why we've left all the flooring down. That way there's no chance of anyone dinging a wall. And just the paint coatings, they get filled and sanded every single coat. Undercoat, first coat, second coat. And then it usually gets a third or fourth if they're not 100%.
You should teach the painter that did my house. When it comes to your team, you are this elite 3-man team. Because that's a big concern for a lot of people is, if I go with you and once I'm on board and we're now off and away, do I still get access to you? Or do I get passed on to,
No, 100%. I mean, because like you said, we're a team of 3. I wear many hats. Construction manager, supervisor, admin, all that sort of stuff. So you would deal with us 3 and any one of us can be point of contact throughout the build. So it doesn't matter. A desk next to us, we're in an open plan office. We're always talking. We're all across each job. And we have to. That's how we found our jobs run smoothly. Everyone knows what's going on. Mandy obviously knows more about the interior design. Aaron obviously knows more about the on-site and scheduling. And then I know more across the whole job, the budget and things like that. And then we just bring it all together.
For a client, I feel like that would be quite putting my nerves at ease, that I could call and I've got 3 different people that I can call and they can all give me an answer. Very likely to the question I have.
Yep.
Or get it for me.
Yep.
Emile, one thing that I'm pretty keen to jump in with you and understand, because it's an observation that our whole team have made when it comes to just how well organised you are. Walk out in your warehouse, just everything's racked, cleaning against the walls, but then definitely interviewing and speaking directly with your clients. One consistent comment is everything is extremely well thought of. They get to arrive here and you've done all the thinking and all the legwork, and they just get to enjoy making choices. Can you talk me through what is going on behind the doors? What's going on in the machine?
Yeah. So obviously when we catch up with clients, initially we start to get a good gauge on what their vision looks like and their scope of build. And then we go away, and Mandy will spend a lot of time on sort of trying to work out how their vision can tie together, how we can make it tie together. And depending on the clients, might come with a lot of selections already, or they might want us to piece something together. So Mandy does invest a lot of time in playing around in the background, what she thinks works. And we always like to collect as many samples as we can to sort of show the client, because at the end of the day, we're trying to make it a very enjoyable experience and hassle-free experience for the client, so they can come in here and just feel and touch and look at and put things together and compare it with where it's going to go on the plans and put something good together.
One thing that I always find fascinating is, the Emile that I'm talking to today is different to the Emile that started the business. A big part of building is going to be challenges come up and facing adversities. How do you think the mindset of Emile today faces that versus Emile from 5 years ago or when you started things?
I think a bit more relaxed about it. I mean, a lot of years building brings a lot of experience. You learn how to avoid issues, problems, but you also learn how to deal with them and how to come up with the best outcome, how to make sure you provide a great experience for your clients and a great environment and a safe environment for your workers. So, I mean, time equals experience. So I think it's only going to get even more enjoyable, even more relaxed, even more greater projects, greater clients, greater products, greater innovation. Who knows?
Well, I look forward to those case studies. And that just, we're blown away with case study 3 of what's to come. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think the key thing is always going to be the client is number one. They're spending a lot of money with you. And it would eat me up to have a client that's not happy, or we haven't done something to finish off, to keep it if something annoys a client, we won't stop till it's sorted out. We want them to be very comfortable in their home.